Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another session by Digital Titans, and we would be talking about something very interesting today. And all of us understand the importance of mobile apps, and we also know that we are heavily dependent on mobile apps. Now, how about this for a fact? You get up in the morning with an app when an app wakes you in the form of an alarm. You get up and you get your breakfast through an app. An app gets you to work. An app brings you lunch. An app lets you play a game. An app is where you interact with daily lives. And it is believed that Steve Jobs a long time ago said that websites would soon become extinct and apps will start taking over because these are considered to be mini websites where you can perform some actions. Now, everything is simple, everything is very, very interesting as long as you are the user of an app. But just put yourself in the shoes of somebody who owns an app. Now, if you become the app owner all of a sudden, now you are the app developer, you have developed an app, and what is your goal? Now, that's the first thing that you need to ask yourself. What is the goal that you would want to achieve if you are an app owner? Tell me it is installing the app, because could it be anything else apart from increasing your app installs, because you have spent a lot of time, money, effort, resources and energy in trying to visualize the app, bringing this app into life, and you finally have an app. Now, what do you want to do with this app going forward? Now, what you want to do with this app is to make sure that this app has users, a lot of users, millions of users, and probably if you have a premium version of an app, you would want people to pay and use the app. Now, how do you promote these apps and how do you make sure you become a successful app business? Now, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. And the name of this session and the way we are trying to understand, or the way we are going to understand about how do you promote an app is through something called as universal app campaigns, as you can see right here. Now, that's exactly what we would want to talk about today. So let's get started. Now that you're an app owner, now there's a huge responsibility on your shoulders to promote this app and make money off it. Now, how do you want to promote this? Now, the first thing, I would be very happy if you say that the first step that I would want to look at is to consider promoting the app, because that's it doesn't matter how powerful your app is, people are not going to come to you unless you promote your app. So the first step, without any hesitation or any doubt, is promotion of the app. Now, if you want to promote the app, there are obviously two ways you can promote the app. Now, the first one is the age-old way, or which is the evergreen way of promoting the app, which is through the SEO, the organic social media and things like that. So, organic way of promoting the app is one way of doing it. Now, since this discussion is a part of Google Ad series and we are not primarily focusing on organic, the other part or the other way to promote the app that we are left with is the paid promotion. Now, how do you promote an app? Through paid promotions. Can't you run a YouTube ad and ask people to try your app? Can't you run a text ad or start showing your app in display network, asking people that, or telling people that there's a new app in store that could solve their problem? Agreed. All of these are wonderful. It is completely sensible to take a step back to start looking at what the other successful apps have already done. Now, talk about Uber, talk about Uber Eats, talk about OLX, talk about WhatsApp, talk about all the Amazon for that matter. Now, there was a phase when people were very dependent upon shopping on Amazon using websites. Now, Amazon took a lot of effort and invested a lot of money and time in promoting, giving special offers to people if they purchase the products from app. It doesn't matter if you have the world's best app, but what makes difference is do you have people who are using this app and do you have people who are purchasing things on the app? Now, that makes a lot of difference. Now, how do you drive that action and how do you make sure people are engaged with your app, and how do you make sure people have installed your app and are using your app? Now, that's exactly what this session is going to be. In the world where we are overwhelmed with information, you go to YouTube, there is a very little probability that you could watch, that you could get to the video that you were watching 15 minutes ago without a lot of search. Now, when there is so much of information available online, it becomes very difficult for us to keep track of what's happening. Now, just imagine you watching an ad of an app while you're watching a YouTube video. What are the chances that you're going to come back, go to your Play Store or App Store and install the app? Very, very little if you ask me. It makes complete sense for you as a business owner, as an app owner, to withhold the user's attention and make sure he or she installs your app right away without having to wait for him to come back to your app again. Now, how do you do that? Now, that's one reason you should start considering using universal app campaigns, because these campaigns are specifically designed for installing your apps. To drive app installs, to make sure your user base performs in-action or in-app purchases, or they perform some kind of action that you would want them to in an app, you would be using these universal app campaigns, which are a very, very prominent part of the Google ad mechanism. So let's get started. And how do we talk about, or how do you say that, how do I install or how do I create a universal app campaign? Now, you don't have to worry about it much, because I would be showing you a hands-on session about how do you create a universal app campaign right after this introduction. Now, you need to understand a very limited number of things about certain things about this app, which would help you understand the methodology better before you actually start getting your hands dirty and start creating your campaigns. Alright, so you have universal app campaigns now. You're convinced that you need to use these universal app campaigns, and you need to understand a few things about these ads and what is so good about these ads. The first thing which is so good about these ads is Google has got your back, and you don't need to be super creative and make sure you invest in your money and effort in trying and to come up with all those animated effects and things like that. What you could do is you could feed the Google system with certain ad text ideas, which are the good things about your business, your app credits about what is the good thing, or was your app rated somewhere, do you have some user feedback that you have collected. So you could just give all those inventory to Google Ads, and they would try and test out a lot of variations for you to make sure you could drive more installs. Now, the second thing that you need to consider is we're talking about a mobile app, ladies and gentlemen, which means that these are going to be specifically targeted at mobile users. So please consider using device-specific campaigns, because that's where a lot of action happens. The third thing that you need to consider before you actually start getting into creating these campaigns are, you need to understand these campaigns can be shown on search network. They can also be shown on display network. They can also be shown on YouTube and other video networks. Technically, it is a part of display, but you can show these ads across all the Google ad properties like Google Search, Google Display. You have YouTube, you have Google Play Store, all the ad networks of Google. You can start showing these universal app campaigns. This is what I mean when you say your ads can show. Your ad for the app will be shown when people are watching a YouTube video, or when people are watching, browsing a related website, or when people are searching for anything related to the keywords which are specific to your app. Your ad would show up for this app, and it would not wait for people to click on the app, come to your website and then install it. It would prompt the users with an install button, which when they click on it, your app would be installed into their devices. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about, and that's the beauty of universal app campaigns. Do you have an app? And if you really are bothered about driving more app installs, let's start using universal app campaigns. Let me show you how it's done.